Alright, I guess this is finally episode 3 of Escaping Yellow Hell. It took me forever to get here. Horrible weekend planning by me up to this point, and I kept telling Bird in the Hand that I'd spectate him, and it just took me forever. But alright, so we're here, so let's check this out now. So he's going Rise, I assume mid, hopefully, against Swain. I don't really personally know that matchup at all. Oh my god, this is Zhao on the other team, and this isn't even the buff Zhao. Anyway, I don't really know that matchup, but Rise is really strong mid, but Swain could probably push faster than Rise. It's probably be a really annoying lane for him to last hit in. Hopefully he does well. But besides that, I can't really say much about the matchup, because I hardly ever play Rise, and my Swain experience is very limited. Let's see. As far as team comp goes, it's a pretty nice team. Top is going to be against Jarvan, it seems. Wait a minute, they have an Alistar on their team and it's not jungle? It's madness. They actually have support Alistar. Yeah, so friend or ep3 from my team, Swain beats Rise, no problem. Guess yeah, Laserbird, pretty good. Getting all these sky messages. I don't know why they're not why they're playing non-buffed Zhao, and I just noticed you can see everyone's name now. This is crazy. But as far as team goes, let's see. I really like blue team's team a little better, but apparently Swain does beat out Rise. I guess because Rise has a pretty short auto attack range and stuff, so probably pretty annoying to deal with Swain. Bottom lane, Graves Soraka. It's not a really good lane match. This annoys me so much. Like, Soraka doesn't help Graves that much. It better off with a more aggro support bottom. But don't really care because we're only gonna view Rise mid. So for those that haven't seen this show or like know what goes on, pretty much I'm gonna be focusing solely on the Rise player this game, and just commenting on what I think he's doing well and what he can work on, or like mistakes that he may not know are happening. But we'll see how this goes. I forgot his ELO. Let's check it really quick. So this game's gonna be 1370. He's at 1370 ELO, so this game's gonna be probably around what I think he was first pick, so this is like a 1300 ELO mid game. So I guess people are between like 1300 to 1370 ish, around there. This ELO, to answer chat, his ELO's at 1370 right now. So this game's probably like the ELO of the players are between 1300 and 1370 probably. It's pretty funny, his name is Bird in the Hand, he's playing against Swain. Alright, load Wukong, thank you. Let's see now. Here we go. So I assume his starting items are just gonna be boots and 3 pots. Let's see what happens here. It looks like bottom has no does not want to protect the jungler at all. Well, they don't really have to, it's Lee Sin. So yeah, boots and 3 pots. Probably gonna go the generic Rise build where he ends up in Frozen Heart and stuff. Pretty interesting against this team. They're like pretty AD heavy. so Frozen Heart wouldn't be bad, especially since they have jungles and Zhao. Alrighty, so it looks like red team wants to invade the enemy blue. But they're going to be out of luck because Lee Sin's probably going to start red from what it looks like. Like right now, early game, what you want to do is protect your jungler's buff. You don't want the jungle to be screwed over at all. So I'm kind of surprised that no one's guarding or like just watching out for invade at blue. But it looks like someone pinged Wukong to go, which is pretty bad. Wukong actually might end up giving up first blood because of this. Yeah, this is not good. Go Wukong, I believe in you. Goodbye Wukong.
First blood.
Wukong is now dead. So that's something you should never do right off the bat, is if you don't get to your areas early, you probably do not want to face check a lot of bushes like that. You might just run into the entire team. Oh, there we go. So much pinging. Alright, so being mid, oh my god, this Jarvan already talking shit. But being mid, it's pretty, and usually AP carries have a decent, like, easy time farming. Generally, what someone wants to shoot for about 20 minutes is have 150 CS, and honestly, being mid, like, it should be pretty easy for you to hit that because you have access to enemy wraiths and your wraiths, depending how you play the lane out. So you can just farm those two whenever your jungler's like ganking top or bottom and the wraiths are up. You can just like pick them up while he's doing that, and you'll usually be back up by time they head back towards wraiths. So yeah, he got kind of like pressured early by that gank, but he has nothing to really worry about. The lane's pushing towards his tower, so he should be pretty safe. But it looks like top is not having any fun today. I feel like it's like the answer in chat, someone's saying that 150 CS feels like a bit over. In reality, I don't think so, because I usually, at bottom lane as AD carry, I usually hit 150 CS or really close to it by 20 minutes. And if you get kills, or pretty much if you get kills in lane and it makes you miss some CS, then yeah, you're going to be a little below 150. But for the most part, especially if you're mid because you have access to enemy wraiths and your own wraiths, that you should easily hit 150 even when you get kills. Because like having I think they said like around a 90% CS rate at 12 minutes is about 100 CS. So you have 10 more minutes to like just get 50 CS, which shouldn't be too hard. Alright, I see why this matchup does kind of suck for Ryze. Swain does have that laser bird, makes it hard for them to trade, especially when he hits him with E. And it does look like Ryze didn't take in his runes, he didn't take magic resist blues. I don't play Ryze that much, but personally it seems like Ryze could benefit from that, as he mostly scales from mana. And chat's asking about when to go for wraiths. Generally, whenever you push the lane into the enemy's tower, or like they back, or you know their jungler's not there, you can poke over there to see if there's wraiths. Especially, you should be buying. You or your jungler should probably be picking up a ward, like a little bit into the game, especially on first back, and you either place it at your wraiths or enemy wraiths. And whenever you know no one's there and wraiths are up, you can just walk over there and take them, and usually leave a wraith to just help screw over the enemy jungler or set him behind a little bit. And it also sets you ahead a little bit from mid, especially if you force mid to back. You're able to hurt their jungler a little bit and pick up more CS than the enemy, while also picking up some extra experience and gold. So right now, Swain is pretty low on mana, but so is not Malzahar. Rise. If you conserve your mana pretty well and like bait APs mid, or generally any champion, into using spells and like dodging it, and you get their mana low, whenever a champion has really low mana or almost none, they're almost not a threat, especially if they're AP carries. Once they have no mana, the blunt force of their damage is gone, and all they have is auto attacks. And as an AP carry, your auto attack is pretty crappy. One thing you should note about Swain is that when he transforms into a bird, he has a cooldown on his bird. I think it's about like 6 seconds. And like you can go and pressure him, especially right now. If I was Rise, I would try to pressure Swain a little bit, because Swain has no mana, so he can't do anything to retaliate at all, and it's just pretty much free damage you can take. Alright, whenever you're like lane backs, what you want to try to do is like set it up so that your lane's gonna start pushing towards their tower, or you should already like blow all your spells and push it to the enemy tower and then back. Something like right now Bird in the Hand is doing. But situations like this where it gets caught right there could set up a freeze for the enemy. So I'm talking about like right here, if Swain was like playing this a little bit smarter, he could try to set it up so that it freezes right out of the tower. So whenever he needs a gank, or whenever Rise has to come up close to CS here, he can call for a gank from Xin Zhao, and they could possibly get the kill because Rise is so far up. This is another reason you should buy a ward mid. Like, supports aren't the only... That's Flash, I don't even get it. But supports aren't the only ones that need to buy wards in this game. Everyone should be buying wards. If you place a ward here, or like right here, it gives vision of this, and right here in the river. So if the AP carry mid decides to go through here or here to gank bottom, you'll see it. Even if they come down through here and up through the Wraith camp up here, you should be able to see them like venture in this area, so you can warn bottom. It's really important to do that. So right now, Rise is actually playing it correctly here. Since he didn't make it in time bottom to help him at all, he pushed the lane all the way to tower here. What you want to do in those situations is like, you can damage the tower to get it a little bit lower, but you can also deny as much CS as possible, especially when you have a minion creep on your side. Killing off the minion creep, what am I talking about? The siege creep. He does lose a lot more experience and gold. And I just remembered that I left a really silly thing on the stream. I always forget to take this off. There you go, now you can see the scoreboard and everything. So it's about 10 minutes in the game. Rise is, has pretty decent CS. Looks like he's gonna pick up his first blue, which is really good for a mid, so he'll be able to fight Swain a lot more, especially since this Swain does like to blow a lot of mana for no reason. This one is gonna pick up his blue. Whenever you see like the mid disappear, especially when they like, it looks like they're walking this way, and it's around the time that blue buff spawns. Oh, looks like Swain didn't get it. So Rise is gonna have a big advantage mid. But whenever you see them venture towards this way, and it seems like their blue is around the same time your blue spawned, you should probably let them know that that Swain's gonna get blue right now, and you can also from that tail you can kind of time when their next blue is gonna spawn and try to contest them if your team's ahead. Oh, this is Zhao. Right there when Xin Zhao gank, something you do, especially when your character has a stun, is then you're running towards tower. If you have a good idea of tower range, you can stun them under tower and like make them take a couple extra hits of tower, or at least one more. It's like, it's not a great like big deal of damage, but any little bit helps eventually. Like he might run into someone in the jungle later, or like maybe your jungler is heading towards his wraith to counter jungle or anything, or come in and come counter gank mid. Any like extra damage like that would be pretty helpful. This is another reason you want to have a ward here as AP carry, or right here, is because you get a vision of this entrance to jungle, which this one should always should have a vision because of bottom. As long as you have the vision here, you'll jungle should be fine, and you'll always know when they come to invade. Especially if your lane's getting pushed and you have a ward here, you can see when their AP carry comes up and tries to steal wraiths. Though it doesn't look like it's gonna happen this game. And again, what I'm talking about is like, especially when you have a ward around here or right here, you'll be able to see this coming. You can warn bottom that they're about to get raped in the butt. Alright, so it's 13 minutes of the game. He has a pretty decent CS. He's not missing that much, it looks like. So everything should be pretty good on his part. Swain is pretty far behind because he's probably just spamming ult and stuff to like push lane. He does have 2 kills on him though, but it doesn't really matter at this point. It looks like Bird is gonna probably pick up 1 kill, so he picks up. Oh, pick up 2 kills. Oh. Pretty crazy. Oh my god, these guys. So aggro. So he was able to pick up the Xin Zhao kill. He knew that Xin Zhao was coming through here from bottom. At least I hope he did, because he probably saw Xin Zhao come through towards Tribush. So he was able to cut Xin Zhao off here and catch him to pick him off. It was kind of risky because mid, he knew mid was gonna come and like back him up through here, but it worked out for him. He was able to pick up the 2 kills, barely. So right now Rise has 2 wards. Probably should be placing them.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So yeah, this is warded right here now, so he doesn't have to worry about too much. Whenever you have a ward like placed right here, or like right over here, like this one right here too, you have vision of these areas. You can stick closer to this side, knowing that no one's coming to gank you here, and if you do, you'll be able to see them and react and move away, as opposed to just like guessing where they are, or like not having vision and having a ward down here, and for some reason you're hugging this side. It's really bad because the enemy can gank you, especially if they know that you placed the ward in river somewhere. They'll obviously hopefully tell their jungler that, hey, gank from above because there's a ward in river.
kill.
It's like blue team's coming back. Picked up that dragon earlier, and then now getting these kills. So whenever your team's ahead, especially if you're, let's see, Graves doesn't have it yet, but whenever if your AD carry has like IE way before their carry does, and like bottom's pushed, like you guys can group and force fights at Dragon or even Baron later on, because you're so far ahead that if you play the team fight correctly, you guys should always come out ahead and always win the team fights because the enemy's so far behind. Early game, you really want to abuse your ability to snowball, and like whenever your team's like ahead items, ahead of gold, you can like try to force team fights and like clear objectives, like map objectives, or contest like red or blue. That way, you keep going ahead. So right there, Rise made the call that top gun. They're totally fine top. They didn't need him, and he's going back mid to protect his tower. Pretty good call there. Whenever your team doesn't need you to get the kill, and there's no reason for you to like take the kill from someone, you should just feel free to like go back towards your lane and like push the lane out, or go back to farming, because your presence there doesn't matter anymore, because like right there, like his entire team was there, and there's no reason for him to stay around, especially since they knew like Severe was bottom.
Blue team's turret has been
And like they already
destroyed.
picked off one, so they should be able to like win a 4v3 very easily. One thing I did notice so far is that whenever he pushes mid or gets it towards tower, he doesn't really roam that often. I feel like even though Rise doesn't have a lot of mobility, roaming with him is pretty strong just because of the stun and like the potential kills, especially if you know where wards are. In this case, I don't think either his team's communicating about wards, or like they don't even care. Oh, not good getting power right there. Looks like he's gonna go down. So right there it was kind of bad. They didn't have a ward. They didn't have a ward in river to let them know that that enemies are coming around to gank them and stuff. Something you want to do, especially if you're slowly pushing your lane, you want to have vision around you, just so you, especially when you don't know where most of the champions are. 'Cause for all you know, they could be sitting in a bush, coming right behind you, getting ready to pounce.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh no! And Rise DCs, or he's quits at least. Rage quit. Well, before this game started, he did tell me that he was having some internet problems, so like he either might DC or like he'll lag really hard, so maybe he's like just fixing his router.
A summoner has
Yep, there he is, he's back. Man, this team falls to the wall. Oh, Soraka. Swain has no mana right now. Like I was saying earlier, a champion without mana is like not even a threat anymore. Especially when it's an AP carry. So right now they have 2 down. They should just push mid so they can get more map control, especially since they have bottom and top down. Doing this will allow them to like control more of the enemy jungler and like force them to ward a lot more. Because the enemy team is like pressured really hard now because they have no towers down except for bottom, so like they control way less of the map than blue team does. Hmm. Hex Tech Revolver. I don't think I've seen that much on Rise. Then again, I haven't seen Rise in a while. So right now, if I was at least in his position, I would probably be pushing to get finish off Frozen Heart, because their team is so AD heavy, and like a lot of attacks from Severe and Zhao are pretty devastating. If you slow that down, you can help your team a lot. Like in my opinion, Frozen Heart's like one of the strongest items in the game, just because it like negates so much damage from everyone on that team, especially when they're AD heavy like this. Having that ward there paid off. They were able to engage on this because they had vision. Alright, in this position, so after something like that, you either want to have your team push mid all the way and try to force like getting the inner tower and the base tower, and possibly inhib if you can. But in this situation, looks like the enemy team is surrendering. Otherwise, another good choice would have been to run to Baron and just take it. Early Baron like that could just like cause you to win super fast. But in this case, they didn't need it. Alright, so as far as this game goes, Burden the Hand, he did pretty well. He did well mid last hitting. I think early game though, he had some used a lot of his mana really early. I feel like if he held on to his mana a little bit for a little bit longer, he would be able to like pressure Swain a lot more when Swain blew all his mana mana mid, like spamming the stun and the bird and stuff. Otherwise, his laning phase he did pretty well. It kind of sucked that he did have no ward too after his first back, at least placed as far as I saw. That's kind of annoying, especially when you have an aggressive against an aggressive jungler. You want to do that, and also Swain pushes lane pretty hard, so you can if you place your ward down river, you'll be able to like warn your team bottom whenever Swain does decide to roam bottom. Also, I did notice that he didn't really roam that much whenever he pushed the lane. Though it's like something up to the player, I feel like roaming in this game, at least right now as an AP mid, it'll help your team snowball even harder, especially in solo queue when you have no control over your team members. So even though you might have said that like, hey, mid's going bottom, like your team might be too dumb to even care and end up dying and blaming you anyway. As far as that goes, anything else? So, no Wraith taking, kinda sad. He could help screw over the enemy jungler there, or pick up his own race whenever his jungler wasn't getting it, push him even further ahead. But I think, as far as that goes, everything else looked pretty good. So I assume Burden the Hand will probably, if he fixes his early game, he's definitely gonna like rise up in ELO a lot faster. Just mana control is what he has to worry about most, and possibly like a little bit of warding, but that's it. And is that, now that I think about it, are those still the same two wards he had since the start of the game? Maybe. But but as far as anything else I can think of, nothing really. So yeah, Burden the Hand definitely handled mid pretty well. Should see him rise pretty soon. Harass him about taking wraiths. Alright. But yeah, that'll be it for today, I guess. I'll probably be playing some games after this. If not, just check. I think I'm trying to do one Sunday. Probably do one Sunday. I think Saturday night I'm going to be busy. So Sunday should be when the next one happens. I've been so busy lately that like kind of screwed up my whole scheduling for this and like started this show like at a really bad time. But hopefully that gets fixed pretty soon. But yeah, for anyone here that's new here and interested in like being spectated and commentated on about your play, just message me. You can either get a hold of me on Twitter and give me your information, your summoner name, and your ELO, and when like normal, try to put like what server to and like when you're usually available. And then, or if you don't use Twitter, I have a Facebook page that's posted in the Reddit post if you look there, which will also help you, or which I also pick people from too. I just like randomly pick whenever I'm gonna do this. I post about it when I need someone, and if you're lucky enough to be around when I post and message me back, you'll be able to be spectated for this. Besides that, that's it. I do stream on this channel a lot, so feel free to follow this channel too on Twitch. And that's it, I guess, for this show. Hopefully Sunday I'll have a lot more time, and maybe I'll do like, if I can, do 2 or 3 people and like do a really really long show, because this one was really short today. Just ended up waiting around a lot for him to get out of his game. Alright, so I'm going to restart the stream really quick, and then I'll be back.